It's bank holiday, it's end of August. Only guaranteed two things on a weekend like this: rain and football. We've had plenty of rain, so today comes the football, and we are at Blackfield and Langley versus Shaftesbury today.
At Blackfield and Langley. It's like an old village hall they've converted up into a sports bar. Got all the beer you want on tap, Carlings, and it's got ciders, and it's got Paws and Madry, but also it's got Sky Sports in there, so it's a perfect way pre-game, have a couple of beers, watch a bit of football on the TV. Spurs currently beating Bournemouth, then it's off outside. So if you saw that. But yeah, it's a very nice little place. There's quite a few fans in there already. It seems to be the sort of community hub of the ground where all the fans all meet before the game. Just a bit of a committee in there, really cool guys in that. All the preparations going on. Seems to be a bit of a makeshift office for the committee as well. But yeah, no, it's really cool in there. And as you see in the interview, they've got the darts teams and the pool teams. They play their games in there. And again, like I always say, source of income for the club during the week and that, isn't it? So. Joined by Mark, the commercial manager at Blackfield and Langley. So could you tell us a little bit about the club, please?
Yeah, certainly. Well, we've basically been over obviously in the Blackfield and Langley area for a good number of years now. I've been part of the club on and off since I was 14, and as a player, and then came back recently back into the committee to try and give back a little bit back to the club as to what they've offered me as a kid growing up. So at the moment going through a bit of a transitional period, been a few changes recently on and off the field, but we're trying to go right back to basics really, and getting lots of youngsters involved. Got a really good youth setup being built now around it. Hopefully looking to feed them into the men's.
I was about to say, how important is that youth set up to a team at Wessex Premier League level to get those players coming through who can then virtually go on to the first team?
Massive, because obviously funding for me is always quite a challenge, especially at this sort of level. Especially going through the financial crunch that everybody is at the moment. And I remember from my point of view, the memories that it built me as a kid, especially sort of start training with the men when you're 14, 15. I built an affinity with that club which has never really gone. And for me, it's exactly where the club should be, because those youngsters, they're the bread and butter going forward. And if they've got an affinity with the club, hopefully they'll do a lot for the club going forward. Not always after money like some of most of these common players are. Everyone likes a wage, but if we can get a good setup of youngsters that love the club and just want to play for the badge, then that's got to be a good thing going forward.
And how important to the community in the whole is our clubs like Blackfield and Langley?
Yeah, for us personally, that's one of the things we've started working on since we've got the sports bar now, which years ago by we never had. We've now sort of building into the community with that, i.e. we've got darts teams, men and women's darts teams that use the facilities. We've got pool teams as well. Yeah, and then looking to do other things in the future, little coffee mornings for the OAPs, and anyone wants to catch up. We've had christenings down here. You know, just really to try and build the club right back into the heart of the community, and building awareness is what we're trying to be doing now. Obviously it helps with the gates, and then you get again, going back to the youth setup, you get the young kids playing, the parents come, the brothers, sisters come, the good boyfriends, girlfriends come. You know, so it's trying to really get the heart of this lovely community that we live in back to coming through our gates.
So first and foremost, might as well get this out of the way. The sound you can hear in the background, probably throughout the afternoon, is the sound of the National Hovercraft Championships, which has actually taken place in the lake next door to the stadium. So yeah, that's been a bit of an interesting watch. And also, there's a couple of menacing black clouds overhead, so I think we're going to get rather wet this afternoon. But in terms of the game today, this is our first time watching the new look Shaftesbury today against Blackfield and Langley, so I'm very excited about seeing how strong Shaftesbury look today, but also a good chance to see how Blackfield are looking as well with their young team. But in order to give you a few more details, is our man Stato Matt.
Touché, sir. Well, Blackfield, like you said, a very young side. Lost Sam Woodward last season's top scorer with 14. Lost the goalkeeper Jordi Valero, I believe, who we saw at Fareham last Saturday. That's big losses, but they've signed Joshua Carey from Millbrook, who got 7 and 8 starts for Millbrook last season in Division 1, and they've signed Arisha Shabetza. I pronounced that correct, thank you. From Follen Sports, he was their top scorer with 15, and Ada Batista from Christchurch has come in as well. Difficult start to the season for Blackfield, lost 3-0 to Fareham against their old players on the opening day, and then did get a good draw in the Waterside derby against Hive. An interesting fact, I doubt many teams in football have had this, but Hive's ex-manager scored a free kick for Blackfield's ex-manager scored a free kick for Hive in that game in a 2-2 draw. Blackfield currently sitting in 19th place in the Premier Division.
18th or 19th,
Then obviously Valero going, the goalkeeper's a big loss. Young Oliver Harrison, who's come through the youth side, like Mark, the commercial director, said in the interview about promoting youth team players, is coming to be their first choice goalkeeper this season. Difficult job, especially for a goalkeeper, I think.
Wow. Yeah, always is, yeah.
New managers have come in as well, but it's going to be a difficult ask, I think, to get something from Shaftesbury today.
Could be a tough afternoon for Blackfield and Langley, yes, but you never know at this stage of the season, do you?
Exactly. I mean, Shaftesbury did drop points at Portland, drawing 0-0, but they're currently 4th in the league and they've won 2 of their 3 games. They beat Portsmouth 1-0 for Brett Pitman penalty, and they also beat... excuse me, I'm trying to read my own handwriting. Bournemouth, there we go. Bournemouth Poppies, they beat them 3-1. A lot of players coming in from high levels. Luke Holmes is coming from Paul Town. Brett Pitman, obviously, he got 50 goals last season for Porchester's come in. Murphy from Wimborne, the goalkeeper, very solid.
Come on, lucky son! Go.
Number 11. Dangerous on the count.
Get on that keeper, he's shit. Yes, that's the ball. Take it! Fuck it over! Get on in!
So, half time here, it's currently Blackfield and Langley 1, Shaftesbury 1. Not really a great deal to report since I last checked in after the half an hour mark. Early goal from Brett Pitman. You thought Shaftesbury might run away with it then, but I think Blackfield and Langley have battled well. They've hung in there, had a few good chances on the counter. and then they've scored a good goal after about 13 minutes through Batista. But it's been a little bit niggly, the game, I think, since then. A bit stop-start. But what do you think of the game, Matthew?
Like you said, stop-start.
Yeah.
I think Blackfield have done really well. They frustrated Shaftesbury. Tried to hit him on the break. Batista had a good chance after scoring with a goal, Murphy in goal for Shaftesbury, pulled off a good save with his legs. They've hit the bar as well, which unfortunately I didn't capture. But I've been impressed with Luke Holmes for Shaftesbury. He's dropping deep, he's everywhere, he's like the creative player. But Blackfield have been really good. I mean, they've frustrated them. Jack Barton and Cassius Newton, the two centre backs, have marshalled them well. But I feel with a goal to come for Shaftesbury, it's going to be through a cross or.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. Other than that, they kept Pitman quiet, I thought. Apart from his goal, he hasn't really had much of a supply line. And I think, yeah, Blackfield Langley still look dangerous. So, yeah, we're just going to enjoy the sunshine.
Blackfield!
Langley! All three of them.
Get it?
Oh dear. End of August, Everton already relegated. Anyway, back to the non-league football. It finished Blackfield Langley 1, Shaftesbury 4 in the end. Pretty much Brett Pitman goal fest last 20 minutes. Bagged all 4 today, but I don't think 4-1 was a fair reflection on Blackfield Langley's performance. Although they offered nothing up front second half really. They defended quite well, quite resolute until probably the third went in, wasn't it? And then pretty much heads dropped, game over. But what do you think of the game then, Matt?
I think it was fairly tight first off. I think Blackfield went out with a game plan. The game plan was possibly to get a point. As soon as Shaftesbury went 2-1 up, they had to attack. They left gaps, and when those gaps were exposed, that's where Pitman shines, basically.
Yeah, you're not going to get an easier last 2 goals than that. Pretty much, ball got just placed at his feet, basically. One by the goalkeeper and one by a good setup by one of the Shaftesbury players. But yeah, I think overall it's a good day out. Nice little stadium, very welcoming people at the club. Very, very well. Couldn't do enough for us today, so we did feel very welcome. We'd definitely be back. relegated before September.